Hello and welcome to the Minimum Competence episode for Friday, February 28th, 2025. I'm your host for today, Andrew Leahy, a tax and technology attorney from New Jersey. On today's episode, we cover KPMG's new law practice, the CFPB dropping cases against major financial firms, a judge ordering DGE testimony, and a ruling blocking federal job cuts. Let's remember, nearly all people can stand adversity, but if you want to test a person's character, give them power and read today's legal news. On this day in legal history, February 28th, 1933, German President Paul von Hindenburg issued the Reichstag Fire Decree, formerly known as the Presidential Decree for the Protection of People and State. The decree was a direct response to the Reichstag fire the night before, which the Nazi Party blamed on communists. It suspended key civil liberties, including freedom of speech, press, assembly, and protection from unlawful detention. The decree also allowed warrantless arrests and indefinite imprisonment for political opponents. Using this power, the Nazis swiftly arrested thousands of communists, socialists, and other adversaries. The decree marked the legal foundation of Nazi repression and paved the way for the Enabling Act, passed on March 23rd, which granted Hitler dictatorial powers. By July 14th of 1933, the Nazis had criminalized all political opposition, establishing a one-party state. The decree remained technically in effect throughout Nazi rule, providing a legal cover for widespread persecution. It exemplified how emergency powers, once enacted, can be used to erode democracy rather than protect it. KPMG has received approval to practice law in Arizona, making it the first of the Big Four accounting firms to do so in the U.S. However, due to legal prohibitions, the firm cannot offer legal services to its audit clients, limiting its potential customer base. Despite this restriction, KPMG expects to attract many new clients rather than shedding existing ones. The Arizona Supreme Court's approval aligns with its goal of increasing access to legal services, but it also introduces a well-funded competitor to traditional law firms. Other Big Four firms like Deloitte, PwC, and EY may eventually follow suit. While U.S. regulations bar auditors from providing legal services to public company clients, Arizona's decision opens opportunities in the non-audit market. KPMG plans to focus on services complementing traditional legal work, such as contract management and supply chain restructuring. The firm must maintain an internal compliance program overseen by attorney David Rizzo and submit biannual reports to the state. With consulting already a major revenue stream, KPMG sees legal services as a way to expand further, particularly through technological advancements like AI. The Trump administration's Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB, has dropped 5 enforcement cases against financial institutions, including a major lawsuit against Capital One over $2 billion in alleged illegal interest charges. Other dismissed cases involved student loan servicer PHEAA, Vanderbilt Mortgage, Rocket Homes, and Heights Finance, all of which have been accused of various predatory lending and mortgage fraud practices. The move significantly weakens the agency's legal actions against financial firms investigated for consumer abuse. The mass dismissals coincide with Trump's broader effort to dismantle the CFPB, an agency he has long opposed. His nominee for CFPB director, Jonathan McCormick, testified before the Senate promising to enforce consumer protection laws but criticizing past enforcement as excessive. Meanwhile, Trump's administration has fired CFPB staff, shut down its Washington offices, and attempted to cancel its lease, though legal challenges have temporarily halted further layoffs. Consumer advocates, including Public Citizen and the Consumer Federation of America, condemned the dismissals, warning they encourage financial misconduct. The CFPB now has fewer than 20 active cases, with several likely to be paused under new leadership. While McKernan claims he will follow the law, critics fear a watered-down agency unable to protect consumers from financial abuses. A federal judge has ordered the Department of Government Efficiency, or DGE, to provide a representative for a deposition regarding its authority, structure, and operations. The ruling by U.S. District Judge John Bates also requires the Trump administration to produce documents and answer questions in a lawsuit brought by labor unions and nonprofits. The plaintiffs seek to block DGE's access to systems at 3 federal agencies, citing concerns over transparency and legality. The Justice Department opposed the order, but Bates ruled that critical details about DGE remain unclear. While he allowed questioning on DGE's access to personnel data, he limited inquiries into trade secrets or other confidential business records. The judge also set an 8-hour cap on questioning representatives from DGE and the agencies. Bates previously denied an immediate restraining order blocking DGE's access, stating the plaintiffs had not yet proven legal violations. Meanwhile, the White House recently disclosed that Elon Musk is not the actual administrator of DGE, contradicting earlier claims by Trump. Other lawsuits challenging DGE's legality and access to government records remain ongoing. A federal judge in California has temporarily blocked the Trump administration from ordering mass firings of probationary federal employees at agencies like the Department of Defense and National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. U.S. District Judge William Alsup ruled that the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, lacks the authority to direct agencies to fire workers, contradicting administration claims that it was merely issuing guidance. Trump, backed by Elon Musk's Department of Governmental Efficiency, has sought to slash federal jobs as part of a broader plan to cut $1 trillion from the national budget. The layoffs have drawn opposition from Democrats, unions, and government employees who argue they are illegal and threaten essential government functions, including veteran services, scientific research, and national parks. While 5,400 Defense Department employees are still set to be fired, ALSUP ordered OPM to rescind memos directing mass layoffs. The ruling is temporary while the legal challenges proceed, with plaintiffs arguing OPM violated administrative law by issuing directives outside its authority. Meanwhile, Trump's administration continues to push for deeper federal workforce cuts, with agencies required to submit reduction plans by March 13th. And with that, and as always, I thank you so much for listening to Minimum Competence, your daily news podcast for lawyers. If you're looking for more than minimum competence, links to further reading on all the topics touched on today are in the show notes. And reviews go a long way towards helping new listeners to find our show. If you have a moment, you can leave a rating or review on your podcast player. We'd sure appreciate it. And if you know someone that might be interested in a story we cover, consider sending them the episode. But remember, nothing here should be construed as legal advice because it is certainly not that. Minimum Competence is available at minimumcomp.com and wherever you get your finely crafted podcasts. If you haven't checked out the website in a while, give it a look. There are complete transcripts and resources for each episode and its corresponding segments, as well as an opportunity to receive new episodes in email, newsletter, form. We'll see you back here on Monday, and until then, note, we like to close out the week of shows with a featured musical piece. That will make these Friday episodes seem especially long. We hope you'll stick it out and enjoy the featured piece, but if music, and specifically classical music, isn't your bag, we get it. Our mouth sounds unrelated to the week's closing music ends here. This week's closing theme is by Johann Sebastian Bach. This week, we close with a piece by one of the greatest composers of all time, Johann Sebastian Bach. Born in 1685 in Germany, Bach was a master of counterpoint, harmony, and musical structure, shaping the course of Western classical music. His work span everything from intricate fugues to deeply expressive choral music, and his influence remains unparalleled. For our closing theme, we turn to the aria from the Goldberg Variations, BWV 988. This piece serves as both the foundation and the conclusion of one of Bach's most celebrated keyboard works. The Goldberg Variations consist of an opening aria, followed by 30 variations, and then a return to the aria at the end. The music is said to have been commissioned by a Russian diplomat who struggled with insomnia, and Bach composed it as a set of variations to soothe and engage the listener. The aria itself is a masterpiece of simplicity and grace. Written in a gently flowing sarabande rhythm, it presents a beautiful ornamented melody over a steady bass line, which forms the harmonic foundation for all the variations that follow. Though understated, its elegance and depth make it one of the most moving pieces in Bach's repertoire. As we listen, we hear not just a melody, but a meditation on form, beauty, and tranquility, a fitting way to end our episode and our week. Without further ado, Johann Sebastian Bach's aria from the Goldberg Variations. Enjoy.